1 minute warning, folks, 1 minute warning. Okay, folks in the kitchen, it's 12:30.
I'm coming up to the woods, Sarah. Do some paramedic shifts.
Oh, nice. I'll be there.
I'll look you up, maybe you can talk politics.
Yeah, it's not.
Tell me what's going on in Texas. I want to see how the Quinn is coming along.
Ben, was there anybody else in the kitchen? No. No? Okay, thank you. Well, welcome everybody on this beautiful July day. We have quorum, confirmation of quorum. Yes, we do. Call the meeting to order. We'll acknowledge that we're located on the traditional territory of the Lakota people. Adoption of public agenda. Thank you.
Second.
Director Chapman, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. There is no petition delegation today. I know. Adoption of minutes.
Move adoption. Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. No business arising.
Chair, I have a business arising.
Do you?
I do. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I did have a motion that I provided to Edith in advance, and it is that there is, I'll just make the motion and then you'll know. Move that the Quadra Island Solid Waste Collection Study report from the June 25th, 2025 board meeting be referred to the Comox Strathcona Waste Management Board.
Okay, do we have a second? Director Wally, discussion? All in favor? Oh, discussion?
I would just maybe say why I was asking for that. The report outlines the consideration for collaboration with the Webukai First Nation and the fact that the Strathcona Regional District Board has submitted a formal request to CSWM to establish a waste transfer station on Quadra Island. And it really illuminates that the residents of Quadra and the Outer Discovery Islands are seeking a solid waste solution, which the CSWM may play a significant part in. And when I was speaking with CSWM's staff about a related matter, they hadn't seen the report and suggested that sending it through formal channels may be appreciated.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Public considerations, none. Notice of motions, none. Chair's report, none. Consent calendar, none. Director Rice, would you like to take number one there?
Thank you, Chair. Electoral Area D Advisory Planning Commission. I'd like to move that the draft minutes of the regular meeting of the Electoral Area D Advisory Planning Commission held on July 2nd, 2025 be received.
Sorry, who was second? Oh, there we go. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Wally, number two.
Electoral Area Services Committee, I move that the draft minutes of the regular meeting of the Electoral Area Services Committee held on July 9, 2025 be received.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Rice.
Thank you, Chair. Development Variance Permit Application DV 2D25 Web. I'd like to move that the report from the Chief Administration Officer be received.
Director Wally, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item B, that the Development Variance Permit DV 2D25, as attached to the July 10th, 2025 report from the Chief Administration Officer be approved.
Second.
Director Fowler, I believe. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Rice.
Development Variance Permit Application DV 3D25 Newfield. I'd like to move that the report from the Chief Administration Officer be received.
Second.
Director Mawhinney, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item B, that the July 9th, 2025 correspondent from Mickey Mahoney regarding DV 3D25 be received.
Discussion?
Second.
I'm sorry? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item C, that the Development Variance Permit DV 3D25, as attached to the July 10th, 2025 report from the Chief Administration Officer, be approved.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Mawhinney, number 3.
Thank you, Chair. Registration of a Section 219 covenant on Reed Island. I will move that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion. Aniko?
Thank you through the chair to the board. The report before you is merely to assist with the registration of a subdivision over lands on Reed Island. Existing right now is a covenant for floodplain management, which was registered historically by the previous CSRD to ensure that property owners were aware of the flood construction and setback levels associated with the property. The same registration of this covenant will be applied to all parcels currently being subdivided. And with the board's will, the executive corporate officer and CEO or chair would be authorized to sign off on the covenant and allow for registration of the subdivision.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Mawhinney, B.
Thank you, Chair. That the Section 219 covenant attached to the July 17th, 2025 report from the Chief Administrative Officer be approved, and that the Chair and Corporate Officer be authorized to execute the covenant on behalf of the Regional District.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Mawhinney.
Oh, exciting. Thank you. Kwathiaski Cove, opportunities for service integration. Move that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I will move B, that staff continue to work with the Weewakai Nation to pursue wastewater service integration as the primary servicing direction for Kwathiaski Cove, with additional funding needs and next steps to be brought forward in a future report, and that to ensure we are moving forward in a reasonable way, the report include timeline, milestones, and SRD shouldering responsibility for some of the work.
Director Lott, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Rice.
Thank you, Chair. Electoral Area D Fire Protection Service. I'd like to move that the report from the Chief Administration Officer be received.
Director Mawhinney, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item B, that the electoral area D fire protection function be converted to a service to be exercised under the authority of establishing a bylaw.
Director Wally, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Wally, number 6.
In regards to Sayward Fire Department out of jurisdiction service provision, move that the report from the CAO be received, and then I have a second motion.
Second.
And Mr. Chair, Mr. Koopman will speak to this.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Through the chair to the board, this is a follow-up report from last month on 2 options regarding whether it is the will of the board to have the Sayward Valley or Sayward Fire and Rescue Service continue to offer out-of-jurisdiction road rescue on behalf of the regional district now that we're the authority having jurisdiction of that fire department, as well as if a agreement should be entered into with BC Wildfire Service to provide wildfire response out of their jurisdiction at no cost to the taxpayers, and that both of these responses are tasked on behalf of the province with reimbursement on behalf of the province.
Thank you. Further discussion? Any questions for Mr. Koopman? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
And Mr. Chair, I'd move option A, that bylaw number 588 be amended to allow road rescue and wildfire response outside of the established boundaries for the Sayward Fire Protection Service.
Second.
Director Rice, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Von Esch.
Cortez Multi-Use Sports Court, move that the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
And I'll move option B, that the regional district enter into a lease agreement with the Southern Cortez Community Association and commit gas tax funds to construct and operate a multi-use sports court on Cortez Island.
Second.
Director Moini, discussion? Director Lott.
Through the chair to the CAO, I'm looking at this motion and I'm trying to get a grasp of what actually we're approving. I've read through the reports that are attached to it. There seems to be a lot of different financial numbers in there. We're talking initially about $100,000 grant or coming out of the gas tax. And then I see there was a report there from staff showing concerns about the expansion of the scope, the additional cost, plus a contingency for other inflationary factors. So I'm not quite sure what we're approving here. Are we approving a gas tax for 165,000, 100,000, something in between there, or unlimited? Because it doesn't seem to have any numbers attached to it. It seems to be like a blank check.
Yeah.
Could you explain that to me?
If I can, Mr. Chair. So this is just a preliminary approval so that we can work on the agreement and provide those numbers back. There's a lot of grant funding. There's some in-kind contributions. There's some operational funds that we were required to do, some contingency funds. So through the report, got basically direction to move forward and advance those and bring them forward in agreement that will reveal the actual numbers and the contributions from the different areas, because we're going to need to commit some operating funds to it. And there's going to be a gas tax allocation, but those will be in the details of what we bring forward in the agreement.
Through the chair to CEO. Thank you very much for the explanation. I can understand that now. I thought we were actually approving a number, but we're just approving further study, and then you're going to be returning to the board for approval. Okay, thank you, sir.
Director Von Esch.
Thank you, Chair. I just also wanted to just mention for everyone on the board the operational funding that will be needed on a continual basis for this project. That will come out of Cortez Island Parks budget. So the Cortez Island taxpayers will be paying for that entirely. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Sinnott, number 8.
I'll make a motion that the report from the CAO be received respecting director compensation.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B,
And that I'll make a motion that a report be prepared that outlines options for public disclosure of director remuneration, including remuneration paid by external agencies to which directors are members by virtue of their office.
Second.
Director Mawini got in there. Discussion? You had a question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. And this is, I guess, a question to staff. Because during this discussion about this item at the Committee of the Whole table, I understood the motion was to include all remuneration, which would include council and mayoral remuneration as well as external agency appointments. But the original motion made at the Committee of the Whole said public disclosure of comprehensive remuneration of elected officials. And that motion has been edited likely for clarity. But I'm wondering if the new version of the motion, which we have here, captures the original intent.
If it may, Mr. Chair, in a word, yes. What we're going to do, because the regional district prepares a SOFI statement, but that's just for our remuneration for our folks here, we'll do some data collection of other SOFI reports, remuneration by other organizations, consolidate that, and provide that information to the board.
Okay. Outlining options. So if I may just have a follow-up on that, is it intended that the disclosure would also include like per diems that some mayors may receive as a virtue of their elected role, like for like ICE-T, for instance, or things like that, or is that?
Well, it'll
not
be,
included as a
it will
report?
be remuneration received. So, you can have a lot of benefits, but there's no sense, the SOFI doesn't represent the benefits that you can receive. It's what you have received. So, because the easy one, for example, is the folks here on the solid waste and the hospital board that is run through the Comox Strathcona. So there'll be a SOFI report that identifies that remuneration. We'll just peel that off and add it to there. There could be external appointments that some can receive remuneration for. So it's just to make consolidating where you receive remuneration from, because you get it from more than just this place.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Director Dahl.
I'm just wondering about the last part where it says external agencies to which directors are members by virtue of their office. If you're the mayor, you're getting your remuneration has nothing to do with the SRD. You're on that board because you're the mayor, not because you're a director of the SRD. I sit on ICE-T, not because I sit here, but because I'm the mayor of the city of Campbell River, and I go there to represent the city of Campbell River, not the SRD. Unlike directors who could sit on that because of virtue of their position here. The same as when I go to the hospital board or solid waste management, I go there because I'm the mayor of the city of Campbell River, just like any of the councillors from the city of Campbell River go there. They aren't there because of any virtue to do with this office. We are actually sitting here because we're sitting there. We're not sitting there because we sat here.
Yeah, and if I can, that's a good point, and that's why we'll bring back options, because you're exactly right. I'll use an easy example, right? That you're on the solid waste because you're on this board and it's attached. So if we bring back options and say, okay, well, the mayor of Campbell River gets remuneration for this, that, and the other, it may have nothing to do with it, and you don't have to have it included. All we're obligated to do is provide for remuneration, report on remuneration you receive here, which we do and we've done for 20 years. So because of the motion, I'll bring you options for what you want to see. And if you say, hey, look, the mayor gets remuneration from ICE-T, it's got nothing to do with here, you don't have to include it on here, because this is all layered on to what we're legislative required to do. If the board doesn't tell us to do anything, I won't do it. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So you can nix whatever we bring forward in terms of options. And the only options I can bring forward is what I'll even know. I won't know 2/3 of what you participate on. I got no idea. So it's going to be, I'll just tell you, it's going to be fairly limited because it's only on what's publicly reported. So I don't know this for sure, but let's say ICE-T does a SOFI, and it says mayor gets $1,000 a year. Well, okay, that's publicly available. I'll say, do you want this included? And you can say yes or no. It doesn't matter to me. This is just on the layers of what the group wants to see. We'll bring options. If you want to cut bait with half of them, all of them, doesn't matter to me.
Director Colburn, then Director Fowler.
Also, just understanding that as a mayor, that we can delegate various boards to other members of our council as well. So in my case, for instance, I don't attend the solid waste or the hospital board. So that may skew, it may appear as if numbers may be skewed a little bit, but that's because I've chosen my alternate to attend those in my stead. So just being aware that those are some of the intricacies of what we'll be reporting.
So if I can, Mr. Chair, that's a good example of that. That won't show up, like your SOFI, let's say for CVRD, would be less than, Director Rice's SOFI, because you delegate that, right? So again, anything that's available, I'll bring forward. We won't know most of what you're on. It's got nothing to do with, I don't know about it. It's not publicly reported, and that won't be included on the options. I don't think there's going to be a ton. Because there's a lot of appointments. Let's say even you're appointed from here on an external group, and they may not pay you remuneration. They may, I don't know, right? Like, I don't have access to some of that stuff anyways. So I'm just going to provide options that layer on what's publicly available, and you can say add it or don't add it. Yeah.
Director Fowler.
Thank you, Chair. My question is related to the appointments and then also elected bodies that you may be publicly reported as receiving remuneration for, and travel expenses, if those things will be potentially included or not. Thank you.
I would say I'm not gonna go beyond what's not like UBCM, for example. Okay, let's say you get elected to UBCM and they provide remuneration, and that's included in the SOFI report. Well, if it's available, I'll get it and I'll put it on here. But I'm not digging any deeper than that. And I have, again, no idea. If you claim for mileage or lunch and it's not on their SOFI, that's beyond what our scope is. It would take forever to even, I'd have to individually interrogate everyone to figure out what they're on and what they're giving.
Any additional discussion? Director Sinnott.
I look forward to the report, and then we can determine what the format is going to be best consumable by the public. It's just a transparency exercise, so we'll see what we get, and then we know how to best inform the public. Thanks.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Sinnott, number 9.
I'll make a motion under number 9, Regional Transportation Study, that the report from the CEO be received.
Second.
Was that Director Fowler? Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Oh, Director Mawhinney, you had discussion?
I do. Thank you, Chair. And I do really appreciate the addition to this. I think that there's really potentially significant benefits of ship transport. Moving people and things by ship has a lot of historic precedent on the coast. And I just wanted to sort of advise staff that the Outer Discovery Islands communities have a regular collaborative process for moving supplies and groceries by water. So the cost of the transport is shared among those receiving shipments. I'm not sure if that's a direction that staff are considering including in the report, but I just wanted to let you know that that is already happening. But I do kind of question the inclusion of air transportation in the motion. I think air travel is costly, and I think that focusing on land and sea will provide more reasonably costed potential solutions and narrow down the amount of time and effort which staff spend on the project. And my last comment would just be that I know that for the record, the focus of these reports and the ongoing project is the West Coast communities. However, this most recent iteration of the report, it's been the name of the project has switched from the West Coast communities to a regional transportation study, but the focus does continue to be on the West Coast communities. And my question to staff would be the motion that is here on the recommended. includes examining service partnerships with Gold River and Tassus and Sabalis, et cetera. Does this mean that there will be communication between the SRD staff and municipal staff to determine what would be a good fit for the communities?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I mean, we're going to explore everything. We're looking at ways to, I mean, at a high level, bring folks in the regional district into the Campbell River Hub. That's at 50,000 feet, that's what we're trying to do. And as we saw in the presentation, there's all kinds of opportunities, partnerships, and I think that's why air was included in SHIP. We're not buying planes. We're not going to be, buying great big buses. We're looking to develop and find ways in partnerships that we can bring people to the hub in any way, shape, or form. And so we're talking to everybody and anybody to try and find some kind of reasonable economy of scale of delivering people to and from Campbell River. At a high level, that's the best I can give you at this point. When we find things that we think the board will be reasonable, we'll present them, and I anticipate this will go on for years and years, examining different opportunities. And for example, the one that revealed itself quite quickly and what I think is economical was the Gold River to Campbell River. That one, through a partnership with Island Link, looks quite doable, quite quick. And then how can we build off that and other forms of transportation that are happening? So we're going to try and find some easy wins and continue to build off those and look at partners. I mean, at the meeting, the mayor brought up the transportation that was happening for the mine. That was a opportunity. I believe there was two other folks that will keep examining and finding partners, but it's our intent to build off and patch together transportation that's out there. And again, I think that's why airship was on there, just to look at everything.
Okay, Director Colburn, then Director Fowler.
And I do appreciate the inclusion of the air and ship because just speaking West Coast wise, there are scheduled flights that travel to and from Sabalis and Gold River. So if that is a piece that can get kind of eliminated for people that Sabalis to Campbell and do the sched flight from Gold River and that lines up together, I think it's worth the discussion and the look into at least. Same with the MVU check and those kinds of things. So I appreciate that those things were added in here, as well as, the larger Campbell River Airport and things like that. So,
Director Fowler.
Thank you, Chair. It is my hope that there will be an adopted bylaw to establish transport service. I do know that air is the most time-sensitive way to fly, especially since there's only two scheduled boats to places like Cayucit. I also know that this study has happened over 2021 and 2025, so I'm hoping that we can move forward with actual, there's other parts on this agenda where we're talking about funding vans or buses through Growing Communities Fund dollars. And so I do hope that we can make an equalization to the rural areas. Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor of receipt? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Director Sinnott, B.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'll make a motion that a further report to examine potential operational models, including air and ship and service partnerships to Gold River, Tassus, Sayward, and Sabalis, be prepared for the board's consideration.
Second.
Director Chapman, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Director Lanyon. Number 10.
I move that the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Colburn.
I believe Mr. Yates will speak to this, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the reason this is on the board agenda is to inform the board that we are having communication with the Office of the Privacy Commissioner, who has some concerns with the board's approach. And while we don't believe necessarily with their point of view, it is something that the board needs to consider and advise if they wish us to spend more time and effort to unravel this and look at alternative approaches. So that is the reason for the report being presented today.
And if I may, Mr. Chair, the reason we brought this forward is that, we have a deposit system for FOI requests that we've implemented and we've used for several number of years. And we got correspondence from the Office of the Inspector that they didn't agree with it. They, didn't think that was a big deal, really. And they're really pushing the issue for us to do something with it, kind of forcing us to spend some time on something that, doesn't have a lot of monetary return to it. So the only reason I brought this forward is because the Office of the Information Privacy Officer is pushing the issue that they don't like that we're charging this deposit. And just to give some people some background on how this works is somebody can come and say, I want X, Y, and Z from 2015 to 2025 on this, and we'll look at it and go, that's going to take a whole lot of work. We charge a $25 deposit on that. We have to come up with an estimated amount with limitations on what we can charge those folks. And I think ultimately, unless I've got this wrong, is the office doesn't like that we're charging a deposit on it. So we're spending a whole lot of time on something that we collect nothing back. And $25 deposit, as we've operated for years, and that seems quite reasonable, and it doesn't recover hardly anything. They don't like that we're charging that. So we're asking if the board, wants us to pursue this further or just ignore it, I guess.
Director Chapman.
Thank you, Chair. If I remember correctly, the person gets the first 3 hours for free, and then we get the charge per hour. I don't think collecting a $25 deposit is out of line, and I think it keeps away some of the vexatious requests that I think this regional district faced in the past. So I would be supporting option B, and that we keep the system as it is.
Further discussion? Director Kerr.
Thank you, Chair Baker. What is the provincial policy if you go to the provincial government and request something? Do they have? Is it similar? They don't have a charge?
Before Tom answers, I'm just going to give it a little editorial. I don't know if this is their policy or not, but we had the minister come, I don't know, 5-7 years ago, and say, hey, what's going on? How much are you being impacted by these FOIs? Because the province is spending millions of dollars because people are getting savvy to it, especially lawyers, and they're having their staff have all the province do their legwork for them, costing either nothing or next to nothing, and said, this is costing the province millions of dollars. And so, we said on a much smaller scale, similar to us. So I think Director Chapman is somewhat close to, the facts of that, what you charge and what you can charge and what you get for free. It's a big time money loser and a time sucker. And he's exactly right. What we tried to do years ago is implement a policy that would somewhat discourage frivolous requests for anything, even though $25 isn't a lot, and the ministry doesn't like it. So
just to clarify, as far as I'm aware, the province, when they changed the legislation, the $10 non-refundable fee is applicable across all provincial agencies. It's non-refundable. So if you make an application with the province or any of its ministries, there's a $10 fee that's charged for that, and it will not be refunded regardless.
Having said that, the minister said, the legal firms, their staff is just, here's $10 and here's 30 hours worth of work. Right?
Director Von Ash.
Thank you, Chair. So are we just talking about a $25 deposit, or are there other fees as well? That's my first question.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, there are additional fees depending on the amount of work that's done and the amount of records that are compliant with the request. And as Director Chapman mentioned, we cannot charge for the first 3 hours of work spent researching, those kinds of things. So there are some limits, but there is the ability to charge more if the $25 deposit is insufficient to cover all of those costs. Then we can, in some cases, charge more.
So could you explain, let's say it took 20 hours, what would the fees be for that person who made the request?
Well, to be simple about it, assuming it was a 20-hour job, we can't charge the first 3 hours. We can't charge for redactions, things like that. But let's assume 17 hours was chargeable. Then the $25 deposit would be part of the amount that was already paid, and we'd be looking for the remainder to be paid before we release the records.
If I can interject, the problem with that is by the time we get to saying to the person requesting that this is going to be 20 hours worth of work, we've committed a ton of work, and we say, okay, this is going to be $300, and they go, forget it. Right, so we're forced to. So this is kind of the impetus of the deposit to, not dissuade people, but have somebody could every day phone and ask for information, and then we say it's going to cost you $500, and they go forget it, and it just consumes a lot of time. So a little, for lack of a better term, deterrent, which again the province doesn't like, but it seems quite reasonable, and it's worked fairly well. But yeah, if you're the province and you're legal firm, I mean $10, you just start handing them $10 at a time, and they're doing incredible amounts of research for you.
Thank you. Just one more question, Chair, if that's all right.
Go ahead.
If we just continue on with the way we're doing things, what is the implications for us? Could the province force us to change, or what would be next steps potentially?
If I may, Mr. Chair, at this point, we don't believe the province could do that, but that would be something, if we were to go the route of getting a legal opinion, then we'd get some clarity on that. But right now, the province's position is that what we are doing is not authorized by the legislation. They would like us to stop.
Thank you.
Okay, Director Rice.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to add that over the years that I've worked in IT, I've done probably about 30 or 40 FOI requests, so I know how long they take. There can be literally hours depending on what it is that we need to locate and look for. The other thing that is quite important with an FOI request is that we can't delegate, that can't be delegated to all staff. Quite often the information that is being asked for is very sensitive, so it needs to go to high-level managers. It is, extremely invasive to their time. I think the $25 is fair, and I actually, not to question Director Chapman, but I think option C might be the more prudent approach at this point. Go ahead and get the legal opinion, and then we know for sure. So that would be my take on it. Thank you.
Director Chapman.
Yeah, I appreciate that the legislation doesn't specifically authorize us to do that, but there's nothing in the legislation that specifically prohibits us from doing that. So if the FOI folks don't like it, change the legislation.
Okay, any further discussion? Director Senate?
Yeah, I believe that we have to have some sort of parameters, and I'm in favor of having the legal opinion, but I would also like to have a process where if there is financial inability to pay, there'd be consideration.
For microfiche, there's $10 for floppy disks. There's the schedule of all the ways that the dollars run up, and this is public money and public information, so it makes the most sense for us to protect ourselves. Thank you.
Any other discussion? On receipt, all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Options. Director Lott? Director Wally, discussion? Option C. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? One opposed? Two opposed? The motion is carried. Director Colburn, number 11.
Thank you. Regional District Policy Review Part 1, that the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Wally, discussion. Director Mulwiney.
Thank you, Chair. This is I guess it's a question to staff, because there's one policy in here which applies to if there's a private water supply system switching over to, or moving into the regional district. And there is at least one private water supply system on Quadra Island, and that is why this question is of particular interest to me. So the transfer of water systems policy, which I believe is policy number 58, is very specific in that it ensures that a water system being considered for transfer to the regional district meets appropriate standards. And for this reason, I'm wondering if it would make sense to keep this policy number 58 on the books, and if staff could maybe provide an opinion on the benefit versus risk of keeping it versus eliminating it.
If I may, Mr. Chair, again, like you said, this is specific. If we had a scenario, I suggest we get rid of it. If we had a scenario or an opportunity to adopt, inherent, buy, transfer, whatever, a private water utility, we would create some policy or standards around that. This one has to do with the specifics of whatever it does. I don't see the relevance. And again, if we were to adopt or transfer, receive a private water utility, that's not going to happen overnight. There will be a number of negotiations, a transfer agreement, and so on and so forth. It would give us opportunity to create some kind of policy or parameters around that. That's not going to happen, every day. It's going to be pretty rare, if ever. So anything we're deleting here doesn't mean we wouldn't at some point come up with a similar policy or on that topic, but the details would likely be much different.
Okay,
Further discussion?
thank you.
Director Sinnott.
Yeah, so just as a policy governance point of view, I'm usually in favor of getting rid of all sorts of detailed policies and let the high-level CAO have more flexibility and freedom until we have situations that arise that require us to constrain behavior, because we hire people and should trust them. But if there's certain policies that protect us from liability, like snow removal policies and things, and yes, they should come to the board. But for the most part, we expect our CAO to follow the law. We expect them to act in a business or government-like manner and not do anything that exposes us necessarily as sort of a base operation. And if we ever have concerns that things like that are happening, the board always has control to bring anything into constraint and to make specific directions. So I'm really comfortable getting rid of as many specific policies as possible.
Okay, further discussion? On receipt, all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Director Colburn.
And I would move B, that the policies numbered 14, 15, 23, 24, 28, 58, and 61 and 64, as shown highlighted in the attachment to the June 25th report from the CAO, be revoked.
Second.
Was that Director Fowler? Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Mulwiney, number 12.
Thank you, Chair. Request for financial assistance from Quadra Island Climate Action Network Society. Move that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. B.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move that the board approve a grant for the Quadra Island Climate Action Network Society in the amount of $2,315 to assist with the 2025-2026 liability insurance costs to be paid from the Electoral Area C Grant and Aid budget.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Mulwiney, number 13.
All right, thank you. Request for economic development funding, Discovery Islands Chamber of Commerce. Move that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? Director Lott.
Thank you, Sharon. Just for clarification, does this come out of the electoral areas budget, or does it come out of the regional district?
Electoral areas. Do you want to just pull your mic in a little bit? No, Ben did it for you last time. He's an expert in it now. Thanks.
Oh, it's not. Didn't go through. Thanks. Thank you.
You can turn it off. You can turn off your mic now. You don't need it.
Ben has his ticket now and that.
Mike management, I'm glad you're taking that course.
Who's next? Anybody? Okay, so all in favor on receipt? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. B.
Thank you, Chair. That the committee recommend that an economic development grant for Quadra Island Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $5,727 be approved to assist with costs associated with the provision of 4 portable toilets in outdoor recreation areas on Quadra Island to be paid from the Electoral Area C Economic Development Service budget.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Director Von Esch.
Bylaws, bylaw number 589, Cortez Island Fire Protection Extension at Tiber Bay. I move that the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B.
I'll move that bylaw number 589, being Southern Cortez Island Fire Protection Services and Facilities Service Establishment Bylaw 1990, amendment number 6, be reconsidered, finally passed and adopted.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Rice, number 2.
Bylaw number 595, 596, and 597, Liquid Waste Management Planning Service. I'd like to move that the report from the CEO be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B.
I'd like to move item B, that bylaw number 595, being the Comox Strathcona Liquid Waste Management Planning Service Bylaw 2002, repeal Bylaw 2025, be now reconsidered, finally passed, and adopted.
Second.
Director Chapman, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item C, that bylaw number 596, being the Electoral Area B Liquid Waste Management Planning Service, establishing Bylaw 2025, be now reconsidered, finally passed, and adopted.
Director Mawhinney, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'd like to move item D, that bylaw number 597, being the Electoral Area D Liquid Waste Management Planning Service, establishing Bylaw 2025, be now reconsidered, finally passed, and adopted.
Second.
Director Wally, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Dahl, number 3.
The bylaw number 607, Strathcona Gardens Loan Authorization, that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B.
That the total number of electors within the area affected by bylaw number 607 be fairly determined to be 33,012 for the purposes of the alternative approval process.
Director Chapman, discussion? Director Wally?
Thank you. Just a question for Mr. Yates. When you count up the number of electors, does that include businesses or is this just residences?
Businesses cannot qualify as electors in BC, so it's people.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried.
And that the deadline for submissions of electors' responses in respect of the alternative approval process for bylaw 607 be established as 12 o'clock noon on Monday, September 22nd, 2025.
Second.
Director Chapman, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. D,
That the elector response form attached to the July 18, 2025 report from the Chief Administrative Officer be approved for use with the alternative approval process for bylaw number 607.
Director Chapman, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Von Esch, number 4.
Bylaw number 613, Cortez Island Wildfire Brigade. I move that the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B,
I'll move that bylaw number 613 being a bylaw to authorize amendments to the fire protection agreement with the Cortez Island Firefighters Association be now introduced and read a first time.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion?
I just have a question for staff, if that's all right, Chair.
Go ahead.
Just regarding the liability insurance, it's not clear to me in the report whether these folks in the Wildfire Brigade will be covered by insurance. It uses the words may not be covered. Just looking for some clarification or what that means.
Well, Mr. Chairman, as we all know, liability is assigned or established, if you will, through the court system. What we're saying is that the regional district is not automatically providing liability insurance coverage for the volunteers who are really under the jurisdiction of the Cortez Island Firefighters Association, which is a separate entity.
Okay, thank you. So do we know whether CIFA is able to provide liability insurance for those folks then?
We assume that they are able to. Whether they do or not is something we don't know. I do believe our agreement requires some minimal requirement along those lines, but I don't have that information at hand.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'll move that the rules be suspended and bylaw number 613 be given second and third readings.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
I'll move that bylaw number 613 being Cortez Island Fire Protection Service Agreement Authorization Bylaw 2024, Amendment number 1 be now reconsidered, finally passed, and adopted.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Number 5, Director Von Esch.
Bylaw number 614, Cortez Island Village Commons Project, and move the report from the CAO be received.
Second.
Director Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. B,
I'll move the bylaw number 614 being Village Commons Project Funding Agreement Authorization Bylaw 2025 be now reconsidered, finally passed, and adopted.
Second.
Director Lott, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Director Wally, number 6.
Bylaw number 616, Duncan Bay Fire Protection Amendment. I move that the report from the Chief Administration Officer be received.
Second.
Director Rice, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
Further move that bylaw number 616, being a bylaw to amend the annual requisition limit for the Duncan Bay Area Fire Protection Service, be now introduced and read a first time.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
Move that bylaw number 616 be given a second reading.
Director Mawhinney, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.
And finally, I move that a petition be prepared and distributed to the affected property owners to determine if they support the proposed amendments and that a further report be prepared for the board's consideration at the conclusion of the petition process.
Second.
So is that Director Fowler? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. Okay, Director Fowler, take number 7, please.
That the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received regarding the Tassus Fire Hall relocation project funding.
Second.
Dr. Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. B,
That bylaw 617 being a bylaw to authorize entering into a financing agreement between Strathcona Regional District and the Municipal Finance Authority of British Columbia be now introduced and read for a first time.
Second.
Dr. Colburn, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. C,
That the rules be suspended and bylaw number 617 be given second and third readings.
Director Wally, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. D,
That bylaw 617 being security issuing bylaw number 2, 2025 be reconsidered, finally passed and adopted.
Director Colburn, discussion?
I'd just like to announce that we're expecting to have our fire hall opening in September. So you're all invited. Thanks.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Correspondence. I think I'm going way too fast here.
Move items 1 to 3 be received.
Who seconded that? Director Kerr, thank you. Discussion? I would like to pull number 1 for discussion.
Move number 1 be received.
You want number 1 be received? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Rice. Discussion? Director Wally?
Yeah, the only problem I have.
Your microphone, please.
The only problem I have with this particular one, Mr. Chair, is it's totally against our board policy to give grants and aids to municipalities that are already receiving taxes from their local residents.
Staff?
I don't have the policy in front of me, but the gist of it, we typically have not provided funding for operational issues of other municipalities. This, again, the age-friendly van might be a little, I don't believe it's a service that you would know better than us, but I don't know if it's a service that the village is providing, or are they just financially supporting it through a grant? Like how has the village given money in the past to the age-friendly van? Or is it a service in the van that the village owns?
That's correct.
The village owns and
owns it.
operates? Okay.
That's correct.
If I might, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the criteria in the same application the village submits states grants should not be made to other local governments, including, for example, municipalities. So I don't have a problem with the money. It's just if you got a policy and you're not intending to follow it, we haven't got a policy. So one's good for one and good for all.
Okay, we're on receipt. On receiving 1 through 3, correct?
We received number one.
Number 1? Okay, so all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried. And in correspondence, regarding the age-friendly van, do we need a motion?
I think we had that received.
With receipt, I have a subsequent that we consider the grant application from the Village of Sayward with respect to the age-friendly van to approve it.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Director Rice, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Director Lott, Director Mawhinney, and Director Wally. The motion is carried. By all means.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I'd like to point out to the board, though, that they have the same consideration for other jurisdictions when they have requests that are contrary to board policy.
Okay, number 2.
Move receipt of 2 and 3.
Thank you.
Second.
Director Fowler, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Members' reports, manager reports, new business, none, done items. Sorry? Oh, number 3, development variance permit. You moved 2 out of 3. Okay.
So I would move closed session that the report from the CAO be received.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion's carried.
And I will move that the meeting be closed to the public to consider matters deemed to fall within the parameters of subsections 91A, C, and O, and 92B of the community charter.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried.